Just crackling codes without a care. Rob's antenna reaching everywhere. Hamtubers on air once a month, you know. Yeah, live streaming those adventures, it's a show. Izzo throwing signals high and low. Marvin's got that frequency glow. Wall with tales of static gold, antenna tales that never get old. Every frequency a story told. These airwaves hotter than any bull. Hamtubers on air once a month, you know. Yeah, live streaming those adventures, it's a show. Izzo throwing signals high and low. Marvin's got that frequency glow. Waves crashing, stories passion, airways full of passion. Dial in for the action, every month it's satisfaction. Hamtubers on air once a month, you know. Got that frequency glow.
Oh, I got some audio.
There we go.
You got on mute.
Does it automatically do that? Nice. Is he muted?
Who muted? Mike's muted.
What the heck?
I'm not.
We're all playing with the mutes here.
Playing around with our settings. Oh man!
Welcome to Northeast Ham Radio ASMR edition.
ASMR.
Yes, big and sexy. Anyway, I don't know. Do we decide like who wants to run this bad gang of people, or is it just me because my mouth is the biggest?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I think you just like to talk the most.
I do. Sadly, you know, my wife doesn't listen, so that's what happens. Yeah, I love my wife, but anyway. Excuse me. Well, like I said, welcome to Northeast Ham Radio here. We are just all hanging out. Another edition for our month of June here, guys. So, well, I don't know. Did we kind of sort of alluded to a bunch of different stuff. If you kind of got all of the Easter eggs in the thumbnail, like, you know, let us know in the chat, because I know Mike spent a lot of time creating that thumbnail. I want to see if people can pick crap out of it and, you know, figure out who's who and what it refers to. Because, you know, a lot has happened, man, you know, between vegetarian brisket and a whole and phone calls apparently with fellow family members. You know, we've just been hanging out. So, you know, what's been going on? You know, how are you guys doing?
Start with Mike.
Who we starting with?
Not me. I don't have my cell phone armed.
I'm doing good.
Very cool.
I'm just trying to deal with this.
This is not important than us.
Uh-oh.
It's the wife.
It's the wife.
Okay. See, it's just, you know, plethoric. So anyway, well, over to you, Mike. Come on, like start
All
us
right,
off.
I'll
here,
jump
man.
in.
Yeah, jump in. Please.
So, yeah, look at the. I'll start with the thumbnail and I'll just say, and I'm just toying with the Google Geminis, whatever that AI thing is.
Oh, Microsoft Gemini or Google Gemini? No, Google's Gemini. That's right.
Yeah, the Googles. So I you get this idea like, oh my gosh, we gotta let's have a thumbnail that's like a cooking show because of, you know, all the beef between you and Izzo now, right? Like, and so I'm like, this would be great. We can have like a cooking show and we can have all these people like on a stage and have it in the sign, and that's the easy part. And I was surprised, like when, you know, I told it, okay, on the set of a cooking TV show with the sign that reads this on this line, but I'm trying to tell it, you know, like you know, like what kind of people to put in there. And I'm like, a male skydiver with a beard, a baseball coach wearing a hat. You know, like in trying to do, and sometimes it would get the stuff, sometimes it wouldn't. Like one of the Easter eggs that's in there, like you see the blue bucket. I'm like, there's got to be a blue bucket for a wall. And unfortunately, Walt texted me just a little bit ago. He's busy with the grandkids, so he's not even
Bummer.
like he thought, which is a bummer. But family first, and so it was just like I was trying to put, you know, like the celery and the brisket and some beers on the table, like, and it was a fun exercise. And maybe I'll pull up later some of the other thumbnails that came about. But one of the fun things for Izzo is I was like, okay, there has to be a male EMT with a mullet smoking a cigar, you know, and so, you know, it was a fun exercise. It was challenging, you know, with some of the things that it spit back. But anyway, that's the thumbnail or my art therapy this past week, as I
Awesome.
always refer to it as. It was fun. It's challenging and stuff. I trying to think of some other. I said there's got to be a male politician. There has to be a male IT engineer, and I was trying to think of like things like that to put in there. And you know, it is what it is, but it's all in good fun. So
yeah, the background looks like it's off like some like major cooking show kind
I
of
know.
like, you know, I was like, this is weird. We'll just throw that
it is it is interesting. You know, like what you really can do with that, and what it can spit back out at you. When I saw like the first one and it nailed some of those things, like the set of a TV cooking show, like wow, okay, it knows what it's doing. Like,
well, you would totally have them caught at the idea of like if you could actually get the faces exactly like that would be just like the icing on the cake. That was the only thing.
yeah, and there's probably a way, but at the end of the day, like I'm an amateur, man. Like I'm only willing to invest so much money and so much time into this stuff.
Oh, you got a job, right?
Yeah,
make a full-time career out of it. Oh, awesome.
But the thing that always gets me, and I did this in the last one, that sign, like that sign, it looks sharp. I like that look. We had the sign outside the bar last time. It looks good. So
definitely
I've gone on enough about the thumbnail. But that's how we get the viewers, right?
I guess is that if that's what they attract, to leave a 1 in the chat there, my friend. It's a thumbnail that it's sort of like on Live Free and Ham. The only reason why people pay attention to is watching Todd, you know, do his extra class questions. You know, after that, all the content's just garbage. So
yeah, I'll have to figure out. There's a couple alternate ones I downloaded. I could pull up. I'm still getting used to this new software. I haven't toyed with it much and stuff, but I'll figure out a way to share it later.
Sweet. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you again for putting all of that time and effort into that thumbnail, my friend. Good job. So, all right. Well, over to Matt. What's up with you, my friend?
Well, today I was at a ham fest, as you guys probably saw on on the Instagram. The pictures, I should have recropped them, but it was early, and I was like half a coffee in, so it was not good. But so sold the last base camp mini, but I unfortunately have 6 orders for them on the website. So after this, I'll be busy.
Okay.
And other than that, I was on the Ham Radio Clubhouse this past Tuesday, which was great. A lot of fun, and wish we had a little more time, but Shane had to run. But hope to be back on there talking more about the 56-1, which is nice. And just been busy getting ready for field day, trying to figure out how to keep people there without them getting heat stroke. So that's the main topic for the week for getting everything up. After that, going to Sussex, New Jersey Hamfest, and hopefully finding some time to play some radio without melting everything as well. So, but that's pretty much all that's new with me right now.
Sweet. All right. Nice. Well, good deal on that. Yeah, I saw your Instagram post. I was like, you know how you go your Instagram feed every once in a while. You haven't been there in a while. You kind of go through stuff. I'm like, how old is this? And then you sadly make a response to it, and it's like 4 weeks old. And you're like, dude, where were you for like 4 weeks when I was looking for content? You know, at the time, kind of thing. But I saw that. I was like, oh, dude, he's selling stuff. So yeah, the Ham Radio Clubhouse episode was really cool. I tuned in that halfway through. I missed Izzo's apology, so
Oh,
therefore it doesn't apply. He's not on the show to apply. His apology either way. Not that I really care that he apologized that I'm a vegetarian, which I am not.
It's okay. It's a safe space here.
You got to start eating steak on the live stream to prove it.
Apparently, my video is not good enough for that one. Literally the 10-pound brisket didn't confirm my belief in meat.
That was AI. You're just a professional. You use Paul. You just had to tap into Paul for that one.
or no, it's really Mike. Mike is really good about creating those thumbnails. So
Yeah,
that helped a lot. But
I'm guessing there's no more brisket.
Dude, it was gone. It was gone.
Nice.
It didn't turn out the right way that I wanted because I was playing around with a new smoker. So I'll have to tweak it a little bit. But hey, it's a process.
nice.
Cool. Well, over to you, Mr. N3MFL. What's going on with you, bud?
Good evening. Well, I'm going to be going up to Pennsylvania. Well, up to Jesus. I'm so used to living down south that I always say up. I'm going to be going out to Pennsylvania. We have some property on the Allegheny National Forest, the east side of it, just south of Bradford, and I am going to take my new base camp mini antenna and setting up a permanent HF antenna. So all I have to do is throw a rig on it and go. Do some yard work up there, probably lots of tree trimming. That's going to be my that's a week after next. Next week is just going to be sweltering heat installing radios. Fun.
Wonderful. All commercial stuff, I assume.
Oh yeah, commercial. I've got a lot of PMs that I'm going to be doing with BDAs or bidirectional amplifiers in and around the city of Boston. And it's just it's money, it's work, it's good money. I enjoy when you enjoy what you do. It's not a job, except for the seat time and the windshield time, because you can't get there from here. Any place in New England, there's no straight line ever. That's why it takes like an hour and a half to get to North Boston from where I live. So it's just, it's just one of those things. But I love my job, and everybody's like, well, how can you work on radio when you go home? Because that's what I love to do. I love to play with radios, antennas, and pissing around with all sorts of stuff.
Very cool, dude. Nice. Yeah, we'll have to hook back up again when you're back up at this neck of the woods.
Oh yeah,
definitely. All right, man. Over to the Apostle Paul there, man. How are you doing, bud? I'm gonna keep that title. That's just gonna be working. It's a working title, but it goes great with Parachute Jesus.
Parachute Jesus.
It does, yeah. So, Parachute Jesus and I we were supposed to be skydiving together yesterday. Weather sucks. Weather sucks again today. I'm literally sitting here feeling like I'm on a boat, like the trailer's just constantly rocking. It's we got like 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But so for those that missed it, I got my Class A license 2 weeks ago.
Nice job.
So
Nice.
Somebody's got to have an applause sound for that. Come on. Maybe.
little late on it, but here you go.
That's okay. When you have to do it for yourself, it doesn't really have that much effect after a while.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, so my helmet should be here within the next few days, anyways. So that's exciting. Be nice to have the full face helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm starting to plan for Huntsville. So I'm figuring out my route and how I'm going to go, and I'm going to try and hit Skydive Chicago, and at least do a couple jumps there, and then I called I called Nashville Skydive, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be passing through first week August. Like, I'd love to come jump at your place, and they're like, yeah, we only do tandem. Sorry.
Oh, weird.
You want to go to a different place? I was like, oh, all right.
Let's go backwards.
Was that the place in Murfreesboro?
No, it's not Murfreesboro. If you said the name of the town, I'd remember it, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. But I don't know. Anyways, I'm excited for Huntsville. It's going to be a whole lot of new. I'm going to be there for the full week. I'm going to go Monday to Monday. I saw Tio did some planning and all that stuff, and they got me down as arriving on Monday, so that's good. Skydives are planned for Friday. So hopefully the weather is good, and we can actually do some skydives on Friday.
Yeah, that'd be cool, dude. So your camper's going to be pulling right up next to Mike's, because he'll be there like the whole week too. I remember he said something on his channel that he was going to be preparing to go for the full week down there at Huntsville.
Well, I got site number 33, so
okay,
yeah.
So, very cool. Well, that'll be. I'll be looking forward to all the content. Sadly, being on the outside of that, I did hear. Like, is it true, Mike? You're going or no?
To Huntsville?
Yeah.
Because
Walt had mentioned something, but
yeah, no. Walt and I talked about it, and I would love to go, and it's like on the list. We kind of just finalized our family vacation plans in August, and so I got to really look. The challenge for me is it's getting down there. Hamvention, I can drive out in one day. It's not a big deal. It's like a 7-hour drive or something, so that's fine. Getting down there, on one hand, it's if I drive, I can activate a whole bunch of states. I can come back another way, activate a whole bunch of others, and stuff. But then now I'm looking at like, wow, this is gonna be like I'm taking a week off now. It's one thing to take a day or two off to go out to Hamvention and be out there from Thursday through Sunday, but then it's so the time off is a consideration I got to look into. And then I could fly down and out, fly down, fly back. And then it's a matter of money or points and stuff, seeing how that works. So we just finalized things. I got to look into it and see if I'm going to be able to make it work. I want to try to get down there. It's been on the list. I haven't been able to because of some other conflicts the last year or two, but we'll see.
Well,
it's maybe 50-50.
We should plan, because that's one of my 2026 goals, like kind of, because obviously, but what I'm thinking is we'll fly down, and then you and I can rent a car and we'll drive up and hit every Poda Park on the way up. So like we can get there like Wednesday and not feel like we're fully burning the candle at both ends. But I'd game for that.
Yeah. Both times Walt and I were talking about it, we were drinking. So as I reach
the best plans happen with beer.
I know that's. But I genuinely want to. It's just I got to see if I can make it work timing wise and money wise and stuff. But we'll see.
Go ahead, crush that one, Paul. I'm waiting for it. I need to hear that sound. There we go. So that was actually the original tagline that I was hoping for Live Free and Ham to be called, because that's how it literally was kind of born, was over a bunch of beers. So yeah, I understand totally. Cool, awesome. Well, dude, yeah, a bummer that you guys didn't get to jump this weekend at all. You think you might be able to get something tomorrow? Or is it still crappy weather?
It's supposed to be super windy all the way through like Wednesday.
Oh.
And then we got rain and shit moving in. So the whole week kind of looks like a wash. But I am going to activate a park tomorrow.
Ooh.
I'm going to go to a park in Indiana, and I'm going to activate with Sean, Ham Radio Dude.
Nice,
cool,
dude. Looking forward to it. That'll be awesome. Very cool. Do you ever think kind of like the weather gods kind of held off for you to be able to find your Class A, and they're like, all right, we can't hold it back any longer. We're just gonna let the monsoon season roll through.
Well, the funny thing is everybody here told me, they were like, oh, just wait, because after June 1st, like the weather is perfect for the whole summer. And I'm like, come on, like the whole week is shit, Oh, hey, while I've got the mic here, I just want to give a huge shout out to James Hannibal, Quirky QRP. I saw he had showed Mike his massive reference mat. It's massive, I tell you, it's massive. And I said, yeah, that's wicked cool. Like I'm gonna save my pennies for that one. And he sent me a message and he says, dude, send me your logo for your channel, and I'll send you one.
Wow.
And so,
Wow.
Very cool.
yes, I'm super excited. He sent me the proof already. It's fucking beautiful.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Dude, that's wicked. So yeah, I always look at those mats thinking, dude, I just don't get them. Like, I don't understand them. And then I sat on one of those stupid wire benches and I'm like, now I get it. The mat makes sense. Like, it just, it fits the mold. Like, now I know why it's so freaking huge. And I'm willing to carry an extra like 8 pounds or whatever that is of the material to be able to roll out like, 4 football fields long. But it all makes sense.
Yeah, no, and I'm just saying, general, like, the Paul was saying, shout out, definitely shout out to James, shout out to Matt. I saw Tim and 9SAB in the chat. Like, shout out to like all the hams making stuff, whether it's antennas, mats, and all this other stuff. I do my best to support hams making stuff, and I know, Matt sent me stuff to review, but I bought stuff from Matt. James has sent me stuff to review. I bought stuff from James. I bought a couple antennas from Tim and all these guys. Like, I do my best to try to support everyone and stuff. And it's great too. And there's those that want to support the creator community as well. But I do my best to support those making awesome stuff. And there's a lot of them. We're lucky.
We do.
Yeah.
Yep.
We are blessed, as they say. So very cool.
God bless your heart.
In a different way when you're down south, my friend. I know what that means. You can't tell me. No cap. That's all I have to say. Anyway,
it's the tone and inflection that you use.
Skibidi Riz.
Oh man, sorry. Yeah, the same to you, dog. Anyway,
Mike.
I thought he flipped off the dog for a second. It looked
Right?
I'm
On the live stream.
dude.
She has no filter. She's 2.5 pounds, 3 legs, and yeah.
They all have the big bark. Mine's like 30 pounds, but that's because he doesn't get any exercise and he's only a Bichon, so as Paul knows.
Yeah.
He's a small little dog. But yeah, whatever he doesn't make up in weight, he makes up in bark. Cool. Well, I don't know. Like we kind of alluded to talking a whole bunch of things tonight, but I don't know. I got my list. I kind of was thinking of some stuff I wanted to talk about.
What have you been up
What's
to?
up?
Oh,
Aaron,
fine.
What's up with you? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. Okay.
What's up with you?
Hey, I'm just the host. I'm just guiding here. Ignore me, right? So no,
You're just Sharon driving the boat across the river Styx.
sure.
Captain Eric.
Okay. Whatever. All good. Yeah, no. So I ended up going down to the Cape Friday and ended up having some really cool conversations. I was kind of blown away. Like, I don't know, here in New England, we always have a repeater problem. Like, the repeaters are very guarded, and a lot of people don't like talking to new hams. They don't always like, putting out their calls and stuff like that. And I always kind of felt that way when I went down the Cape, but God forbid that, change for me, and it did. And so like I had a bunch of conversations with some really cool guys, and from that, after hanging out with my dad doing some family stuff, I decided I was going to go activate a park. Well, one of the things I was trying to coordinate was with another ham, Chris, who's actually on the chat there. Good to see him. Whiskey 8 CJL. Him and I were like, hey, let's get together. So we went down to, we had chose a couple different parks, and apparently in my infinite wisdom and dealing with family all day, I got the wrong park. So I literally drove all the way out to Race Point. And those have been in the Cape. If you go to Race Point, it's almost the end of the world, but just close enough. And so
you made the same mistake that you made when you met Walt and
I went way farther than that first mistake. I just went way beyond the marker there.
You went all the way to P-Town.
I went almost all the way to P-Town. And so I texted Chris. I'm like, dude, where are you? He's like, oh, the pin I sent you was in oh man, I forgot, in a Plymouth. And I was like, what? Wait, like we get so I guess he gave me a couple different park numbers, and I grabbed the last one in the email, which happened to be the one out in P-Town, not the one that was more inland. So I'm like, dude, I am literally out on P-Town, let's meet somewhere in between. So he's like, you want to do Marconi's? I'm like, sure, let's go do Marconi's. And so I went out there, and dude, I'm glad I went back out there because that's a freaking phenomenal spot. We didn't activate where we activated with Walt. We actually went up on the upper decks that overlook the ocean, and the winds were like 30-mile-an-hour gusts from time to time. But Chris threw up his POTA. Was it POTA 35? What's the thicker mast that K Murder's got out? Is it 35?
The 33H.
The 33H. He put that thing up, man. That is freaking sexy mast. I mean, he had that off in the distance. I took a couple pictures, and we all stood there for like 5 minutes going, that's a beautiful mast. Like we just like were
Did you erect it?
Yeah.
Erecting that big, hard, stiff black mast.
Yes, we did. We erected it through an end fed on it. And unbeknownst, because him and I were chit-chatting via the repeater that was local to the Cape, he was talking back and forth. He's like, dude, I just talked to another guy who did an activation more inland, and he got like 15 contacts. And I knew the bands were going to kind of be crap, but we hopped on 40 when we were out there, and we were hitting Netherlands, pretty deep into Europe. We had a bunch of, East Coast contacts, but 40 was like super quiet, great contacts, fun, and, good pileups. But all that said is I, ran into a guy on the repeater, and I'll shorten this story up pretty quickly. Jimmy, I'm going to script is called KC1QW, X. I can't remember. I screwed it up. Anyway, with that, he was a recipient of winning the radio from HR2O's giveaway. So he got the 710, and he was telling me on the repeater when he got it, and who he got it from. And I was like, dude, let's come meet us up. We'll be, activating. So he come to hang out, and he just, like a sponge. You ever get those people that show up at POTAs and they just like kind of absorb everything and they watch everything, but you hand them the mic and say, hey, you want to do it? Like, no, not yet. And, but he's going to be like on the verge of wanting to do something. So, he's
Give
like
him a script.
Pretty much. And so I was like, dude, just get your radio. He's a technician, but he's just texted me yesterday, late today, I should say, saying, hey, I'm on 10 meters. It's kind of dead, but I'm calling CQ. And I'm like, dude, just keep it going. That's the way it's going. So, it was a blast to kind of go through that. But Chris's son, I'll just throw this real quick. Chris is in the chat. Like I said, I don't know if Parker is. His son, Parker, isn't a technician yet. He's studying for it. So as Paul knows, and I share the same sentiment, we're not Buddy Pole Pro fans whatsoever. I have one in my truck. It sits in the
Buddy
truck.
Pole or the Buddy Stick? I just want to clarify.
Was it a Buddy Pole Pro? Yeah.
The dipole one?
No. That's the Buddy Pole Pro, or is it the Buddy Stick? The Buddy Stick, the one that's
Stick
elevated
is
radio?
the one that goes on the tripod. And
yeah, that's the elevated radio. I always get that screwed up. So yeah, it's the stick. And so I said to him, like, dude, I've got this, I got this antenna. I'm like, you need to study for your technician. You got to get your ticket, And I'm like, if you can do it in 2 weeks, I'll give your dad this antenna. And if you get it, then dude, it's yours. And then once you get that, let me know, because I'm sure I can find a bunch of other guys who have radios they want to give you to get you on the air. And he was totally stoked. So hopefully, I'll hear in 2 weeks that he's got his ticket already, or he's ready to test and ready to rock and roll. So Parker, it's live now. Everybody on the interwebs know it. So you can't avoid it. What the heck is my camera doing today?
Pressure.
No pressure.
Enhance.
Back out. Come on. Back out. Anyway, so yeah, that was my activation. So 30 contacts literally in about 2 hours worth of work, but it was mostly just chit chatting and having fun and hanging out. So it was good all around. All right. Well, I'm going to take a drink here because my throat's freaking dry. Anyway, somebody pick it up. So,
all right, who wants to see thumbnails real quick? I think I might.
Yeah.
The
bloopers,
Before I have too many more drinks.
Reel?
Let's see here.
Whoa, what's that camera doing there?
Whoa, what's that camera doing?
Hey,
Yep.
Mike, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Right? So how much time did you spend on these thumbnails?
That's a good question. I don't know. Like I played around with the probably like a half hour playing around with the Gemini, and then maybe it's once I get the image from the AI, then it's pretty quick to put it into Canva. And maybe like another 15-20 minutes toying around with fonts and a couple other things in Canva, making sure we got our logos, and I'll have to get Michael's new logo, which if everyone sees it behind him, it's pretty sick. It's nice. So let's Let's
Mike,
see.
Well,
I think you've got a new opportunity here real quick. Like I know like Carlos and a bunch of other people do all of their Patreon watch my video editing procedures. You should just do creating thumbnails. Like dude, you'd have a community of people. It'd be awesome.
All right, let's see here. So
I just want to say I was a little disappointed in Eric.
Oh, were you?
You know,
Okay.
well,
How did
I
I
spent-
disappoint you this week, Paul?
I spent about 16 hours this week working on a new theme song,
You did.
Ooh.
You did. You did.
and it
you
didn't
made a
even
lot.
get used.
Dude. Okay. To my I don't know where to start with this one.
Uh-oh.
I did not want your song to go to the pigs, as they say. I wanted it to shine well, and I just had no time from when you were making your songs on Wednesday to Friday to slam in something that wouldn't do it justice. And I said that in Discord, thank you. I said, hey, I want to make sure it's the shining moment, like it is with the current one there. The current one's not bad, but hey, you're way ahead of, light years ahead of the other stuff there. So yeah, next week we will have one. And if it's really that much of a demand, then heck, I'll put out the bumper early on Live Free and Ham, and people can watch it over and over and over again with the new song. So it's coming.
No,
All right,
I just had to give you shit while Mike was loading his thumbnails.
yeah,
I
I got
think
them
it's
ready
a-
to go, so we can give this a quick shot here. Let's
Right.
see.
Nothing's ever quick in EV Mux, but
All right, share a window. Wait, no, let me try that again.
Share media.
All right, let's see here. All right, I got a window up. Now I'm going to where it's too many windows.
where's the
All right,
Jeopardy
share
theme song?
window. There it is. All right, share. Do you see this?
We'll bring it up.
Yes, we do. A little salty shirt.
Right?
Yeah. So
I don't know about the
No, I'm looking at the
tattoos with
wrong-
Izzo, but that works. I like the EMT shirt.
The dude with the mullet, yeah.
The
Okay.
mullet's rocking, dude.
I'm
yeah,
still trying.
you see they definitely nailed the EMT there. That's like some hardcore Izzo. One of the iterations I did before the blue bucket was saying, like to have an old man with salty on his t-shirt, but then it would put like 3 people with salty on their t-shirt in the image. But this was one of the rare ones where I think it was pretty decent. The thing that threw me off with this one was one of the personas I asked it to create was like a male hiker, but I mean,
Okay.
it looks like a kid.
It's a kid.
Yeah, and so like that's why I was like, I don't know about this.
And you got 3 of them.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
almost looks like Tim Cook there from Apple or something.
You're right. Who's the host?
I know, I was
supposed to be Tim
I was
Cook.
I was trying to figure that one out. I'm like, where, Mike, am I in this? Like, I'm not the
I know.
bearded guy. I'm
I
not the
don't
3
know.
guys with backpacks, which I'm still trying
Yeah,
to figure who those guys
and I
are.
would tell it to create, like a hiker, or I tell it to create a skydiver, and sometimes it would just, it would create multiple ones. But like this gives you an idea. It gets the cooking show vibe. Like that
Yeah.
looks like another set, and it's completely different. So, let me pull up the other one and stuff now that I'm learning how to do this. So I'm gonna close that out. And why does it say no connection?
That's because it's just you. For you're good. We see you. It's just your
Yeah, we see
screen
it.
share.
Yeah,
That says you don't see me on my side, but whatever. Okay, where was it?
The dog says, "Come on, hurry up, Mike."
I'm trying.
Just
I only got one monitor, so
Show
all
me
right.
the money.
Share screen.
Not a rush.
Here we go.
Let's go here.
Oh damn! Look at that! Look at that! Was that brisket in the middle? Oh man!
Yeah.
Oh man!
Okay, this iteration too. So I have to say, like when I first saw this, I thought the guy wearing the chef's outfit looked like more like oh my gosh, I wasn't
Todd?
gonna say it. No, Steve Goodgame.
Ah,
Oh,
That's why I was like, oh man, that's a close image. I mean, it's not bad, but okay. Nice brisket though.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bucket. The bucket came in.
Yeah. So there. Yeah, you see the blue bucket there, but then you see
Okay.
a couple hikers and a couple a couple
Yeah,
skydivers.
there's more hikers. There's like,
Yeah.
it's a hiker group.
Forgive my ignorance. What was the blue bucket reference?
The blue bucket is
because
for
Walt's
Walt.
got the blue bucket.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
okay. So
and again,
that
we
would make
get like another kid in there, and I'm like, no, I kept saying like, older male or middle-aged male.
That would look good for middle age.
the mullet versions of Izzo keeps getting younger and younger. They never get
Right.
older and older.
I was like laughing out loud hysterically. Like it was like, you're just kind of, you type in the commands and then hit, go. And it's like, it's generating, and it was just like, I'm waiting. And I would like laugh out loud, spit coffee out my nose. Like when I saw some of these things, like it just, they were hilarious. So there's a couple of the ones I almost went with, but the younger faces just,
The celery is definitely like, like I got the reference for sure with that one. So
yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people are like, what are they talking about celery for?
Yep. So
But
boy, but like I said, it's fun, and I enjoy the creative process. I'm not perfect at anything I do. I'm an amateur at radio. I'm an amateur at YouTube. I'm an amateur at making thumbnails and editing videos and all this other stuff. But it's fun. And
You're a professional in our hearts, Mike.
Oh yeah.
you're amazing, Mike.
But it's a whole new tool. And it's interesting to kind of toy with. I have not used
You're the
AI
most
for
amazing
anything.
guy.
Most amazing. Yeah. But I haven't used it for anything else other than thumbnails. I probably need to get up to speed, because at some point, I think it's going to come into play for a lot of jobs and stuff down the road. But
yeah,
I digress. Back to ham radio.
Trust me, I have clients that are like 4 or 5 like steps ahead of me, and they're like, "Oh, have you used AI for this?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, this is not looking good for someone who's in IT. That I'm not using AI. I'm still doing the same thing with you, Mike. Like I'll type AI, into thumbnails, and I'm like, no, that's not going to work. No, that's not going to work. And then I'll take it to Canva and then manipulate it there. But yeah, it's always one of those types that just likes to, have it my way.
Change is hard, my friend. Change is hard.
Weren't we just talking about being old, right?
Yeah, and it's the sad reality, right? Like, we're fucking old.
Oh, you want to see how old I am? Check this out. Check this shit.
Oh, dude! John Candy, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's great.
I am unapologetically Generation X.
Okay,
You know what those things can do? Suck the paint off your house and give your family a permanent orange afro.
Oh, dude, yes.
I just watched Spies Like Us last night.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome.
Well, Spaceballs 2 is coming out. How are we going to do it without him?
Dude, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough with not having Barf as Barf.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Hey,
We'll
get over it. Right?
him in there.
We'll get over it. We're Gen X, right? We're all Gen X. Like,
We'll have Mike AI him in there.
Oh man, dude. Speaking of old, like, did anybody see the latest post that LOTW is getting an overhaul? Apparently nobody. I got enraged.
I saw the post.
Did anybody else get enraged with the LOT, TW posting the fact that
Oh,
they're gonna be down
yeah.
for like a week and a half to an upgrade? I'm like,
I give zero fucks about LOTW.
But it is like if you're one of those guys that like to be able to get your contacts, confirmed and go for DXCC, which, I'm not 100% there, but, I still hate it, announce an upgrade, but then don't like tell us what the upgrade's going to do. Like, excellent. Awesome. So it's going to still be the same crap. It's just going to be faster. AI doesn't suck. Oh, got it.
AI sucks Spaceballs.
That it does. So yeah, I just that it kind of came on the theme here. I was just like, I was complaining about LTW in my head, thinking this is gonna suck.
Speaking of software stuff, just share this. I won't go off on a rant. I was in rare form the other day. I went to go submit the logs for my son and I for the June VHF contest, which was this past weekend, and he roved with me to a couple parks on Father's Day, which was a lot of fun. But it's a complicated process for me to submit the logs, because I use Polo, or I've used hammers before. I do portable operations. I do POTA, I do SOTA, and then 3 times a year I do a VHF contest. and the logging and what counts for POTA versus that, it's different, and it requires, especially if I'm doing multiple parks, a lot of editing, and then I got to get into wind blows and do ADIF master and everything else. But it's not. I've done it for a couple years now. I get used to it. It's just some manual work to get the right log to submit to, the ARRL, and then I got to clean up the logs for POTA, because the logs are going to have like stroke rover, stroke R, and different things for other people that I work, and they probably don't care so much about the POTA credit, but I'm not going to log them for POTA with a stroke R in their call sign, because it won't give them the credit. And so clean
why?
everything up.
Why?
What's that?
Why won't it give them the R? Don't you just add that as an alias to your account?
They'd have to, I guess. But like I said, they probably don't care. But I that's just how I do it. And so, anywho, I spend a little bit of time. I get the logs cleaned up, and I got to do them for both. I'm doing them for both my son and I. And go to submit, and on the ARL like contest page, like the link to submit your logs wasn't working, and I was trying for a while. And
shocker,
I'm sure that they were overwhelmed or whatever. I finally was like, all right, I'm taking a screenshot, dang it, and I'm posting this on the Twitters, and I'm going to let people know this is not working. Other people said, oh, yeah, that they had the same thing, but it was working eventually, and it did a little bit later. So I started to get over it. But then I have to I got to use an online tool, which is not through the league. It's some tool that takes and converts like the ADIFs into Cabrillo or something like that.
I hate that format.
And usually it's a pretty straightforward thing where like I'm pasting some text in, and then it does the conversion, and I just kind of copy from a CSV or a TSV file. It wasn't working, and I'm like, I'm trying multiple times, this, that. I keep getting all these errors. I'm like, this isn't working. I even was copying and pasting like the sample log entry in, and I kept getting errors
just to get it to work.
And I'm cursing. My wife was like, yo. So I finally was like, enough. So I email the ARL, and I email the person that's the contact on the page for the log submission or the conversion. And I'm thinking, it's Juneteenth. It's a holiday for a lot of people. It was on Thursday. So
sure.
I'm like, I'm not going to get it. Within like a minute, I got a response back from the developer, and he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You found a bug. And, so like if you've ever experienced like, you're banging your head against the wall, you're thinking, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Well, it's not you. And honestly, with like 30 minutes.
Hey, Mike, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Hours of my life back. So yeah, I don't usually get like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is, but I was impressed. Very quick response, got it fixed, got everything submitted. And,
but dude, like, this is my frustration with ham radio. Like, why is it that in this day and age, is the logging has to be so difficult? Like, it makes no sense in my mind. Like, why the formats? Why like the divide everywhere? Like, create one format and one like structure, and then everybody uses it. We're all great and happy. No, nobody does it that way.
Yep. And
because everybody's got a better way.
Yeah, but dude, combine your brains together and build the better way, and that way your fields and my fields all are in there. Come on.
I use not Polo. I've had Polo on my phone, but I haven't used it yet. But I have N3FJP, and my main log sits on QRZ. Sure. And everything dumps, even my FT8 dumps up to QRZ every time I make a comp, and I don't have to worry about logging. It fills everything in. It's happy. It's good to go.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of people told me that I should check out N3 FJP or whatever it is, and I might have to look into it and maybe try it for at least the contests that and it's only a couple times a year. So
that's the way to log.
It
Yep, James. Sure, I remember. Note to self: do not go with James on POTA.
I've lost so many paper logs that have just gone up in flames or blown off the picnic table. It's unbelievable.
Dude, what are you doing when you're doing a POTA that they catch fire?
You know
Like,
what?
you need to change your strategy a little bit. Like, no
Yeah.
candles, like
It was
nothing like
before the
that.
cooling fan on G90 and
Wow, the dark
Yeah.
ages then, man.
Mike,
Yeah.
did you do the June contest?
I did.
How'd you do?
My score definitely wasn't that great. I didn't have a whole lot of time. I did one park on Saturday, but I spent more time setting up and traveling than I did operating. So I got to operate for an hour and a half on Saturday. I got 30 something contacts. And then Sunday, my son and I roved to two parks closer, and we just did HTs and Yagis for 5 bands, from 2 meters up to 23 centimeters.
Nice.
And so it was like in and out real quick. And I think we probably got like 15ish or so. Like, we worked a couple people on 5 bands and then a couple odd ones, and then we were out.
Mike, you got smarter as you started to go through that video, because like you started with like 19 antennas literally all over your car. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
dude, where is he gonna go with this? It's gonna take him 2 hours to tear down and get to the next location.
Tearing down was so much easier than setting up if you watch it. Like, it was a good hour, and I had tested everything on the deck Friday night with a ham a couple towns away who's got all the bands. And so I set everything up on the deck. I wish I took a picture, because like my wife would have flipped. She wasn't around. and so I tested everything, and I left as much assembled as I could. The handheld Yagis was easy. The 6 meter, the Momo Beam Yagi, I had to take the farther out elements out, but I kind of was able to keep the frame together. But still, it's like, it was a lot of work.
You literally need a fire truck where you can like fix all of these antennas on and then just drive to spot, set up, and do your thing, and then drive to the next one.
An ambulance would be perfect.
That would work too, yeah.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of like chaos and just pain that goes into these.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mike,
But it's I learn so much every single time I do it. And this year, one of the big learning factors was freaking leaves, and how much the same location I did in January hurt me on 23 centimeters, and I could not make the same 23 and 33 centimeter contacts that I could back in January. And it's because of foliage. I said it right the first time. I've been practicing, but but yeah, it's a good learning process. So yeah, not everyone does it, and I get it.
Hey, dude, Mike, I feel your pain. When I first became a ham back in 1992, the following year, I moved back up to Schenectady after I graduated. Went back up to my mom's, and I got hooked up with the W2SZ group.
Okay.
And the January of '93, I was working, the June contest. The June contest, I worked at the site. We started at the Earth Station, got everything boxed up, went all the way up to Mount Greylock, and got everything set up. And I worked the whole weekend up there. The September contest, I roved. I hit 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 grid squares in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah,
intense.
there was 2 of us. We slept in a tent, and we literally just kept driving. We had all our transverters mounted. We had Velcro onto them. Dude had an old Mustang with the fuzzy carpet on the back of the seats, and we stuck all the transverters to that. Dude, it was a blast. And I remember, Eric, what I did last weekend is I went to Mount Greylock after 30 years
Dude, I
being
totally
up
forgot
there.
about that.
I
How was
completely
that?
forgot. I did some video. I'm gonna have my guy compile it all together, and I'm gonna put a video out on Greylock.
Oh, he's got a guy, guys.
I got a
None of us
guy.
have guys, you know.
I got a guy.
Editor. Oh my god.
I couldn't edit my way out of a freaking bathroom.
We're gonna have my people reach out to your people.
I know,
and then our
I know.
Yeah, right. No, my buddy said he would edit my video and then show me how he did it. But I've got all the clips, and they were running almost 1,500 watts on 220.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got a picture of the power video of the power supply and the amplifier and the 6 meter and the 2 meter and all the antennas. Their one antenna, I think it was a 1.5 to 2 meter dish on a tower that they rotate. And on the bottom underneath the tower is, honest to God, a giant universal joint from a drive shaft. And that's what they balanced it on. The ingenuity and things that they put together. I think back when I was up there 30 years ago, they were using magnetrons for their amplifiers for 2304.
Wow.
And they were pumping some wattage. I mean, they have some antennas, and I'm surprised they usually get 1 million points. Last year it was a little over 400,000. So it's kind of like the ham radio community is kind of shrinking down with the contesting, especially with VHF and UHF. They were running FT8. They were running a bunch of other fun stuff too.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and there's a clip in my video, and so if anyone in the chat wants to see it, go to my channel. But shameless plug. My son is working. Larry was a KD2 LGX, and I know he does a lot of EME. But we worked him first on 2 meters, and then we go to 446, and I think actually I was like, hey, let's go to 446 next, and he said, wait, can you go lower? I got a better antenna, and a lot of contesters are geared towards the lower portion of the band for weak signal work. And so I was like, yeah, sure. And he gives me a frequency. It's like 432.5 or something like that. And we go there, and I mean, when he comes back to us, I mean, the audio, even the difference going from 2 to 70 centimeters is like, wow, this sounds phenomenal. And he's talking to my son, and the clip is in the video. And I had to listen to it a couple times. Like, did he just really say that? But he goes, this should sound a lot better. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, I'm throwing a kilowatt at you with 162 elements. And I'm like, did he just say like 162? Like, time. Even if it's 62, it doesn't matter. Like no joke. Like it was just like, and we're holding up a Yagi.
Okay.
But it's like 40 something miles. But oh my gosh, like some of those stations, like no joke. These guys are running serious power and elements, and it's phenomenal.
Their 432 station, I'll have pictures of it and video of it, but their 432 station had two stacked 22 element antennas, and then they had what's called a back burner. They had a 15 element facing 180 degrees, so just in case there was somebody back there that they couldn't hear, they wouldn't have to swing around. They could grab them.
Wow.
They had 22, 25 element quad stacked 2 meter. They had EME set up. They Dick Fry, WA2AAU. He's been doing it, I think, since Jesus walked along the Nile. He's old, but he still does it. And he's 80 something years old now, and he kind of remembered me. He's like, yeah, I remember you. You're the kid that was sleeping down in the tent at the bottom of the hill. Didn't have a sleeping bag, didn't have a pillow, didn't have nothing, but I was sleeping in the tent.
Wow, you're a trooper, man. You're a trooper.
There will be a kid with a sleeping bag, and the next thumbnail is an Easter egg.
You heard it here.
Do it.
That's
You better
awesome.
be 5'10" and 150 pounds.
Oh no, make them real life size. Yeah.
No.
Oh, good, man. Wow, dude. Like, this is my problem with VHF, UHF. Not problem. My challenge. Like, I know I get into, like, I want to get into that aspect of it, but like, I see what you do, Mike, and it's awesome. But like, you talk to those guys that like have the like mega stations, and you're just like, where do I stop? Like, how far do I continue to like, get into the rabbit hole and then realize like I've mortgaged my house. I've done like, I brought my, family to ruin, but man, I can make a VHF UHF contact, that's kind of like where I'm like just on the border. Oh, we just lost Paul here.
Yeah,
Did the wind take him out? Oh, there he is. Oh.
Yeah, he's gone now.
I'm in a unique situation where there's a lot of activity on those bands where I am in Western New York and Southern Ontario. So we have that activity, we have that community. It makes a difference. It's not going to be for everybody. I mean, if you're in a part of the country that doesn't have active VHF activity, then it's other than maybe seeing if you get lucky on 6, it's probably not worth it. But the fact that I don't have anything set up at home is probably a lifesaver, because I want to make sure I can get stuff in the car, and I know how long it takes to set some of this stuff up to do what I do portable. So that probably, it keeps me confined. And the fact that if someone's aiming 162 elements my way, they're doing all the heavy lifting. I could have been vertical with a dummy load and cross polarized and everything, and he still probably would have picked me up. He said with the Yagi and the 3 watts, the 3 watts that I was pushing out on 900 megahertz, that I was 60 dB over on his. I don't know how many elements he had on 33 centimeters, but like it's crazy. Some of them are doing the heavy work, and you see the same thing when you get into DX and everything. There's certain stations, they're doing all the work. It's not your 20 watt G90 with a wire and a tree, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's the guy over there with multiple elements on 20 that's doing the heavy lifting. So
Mike, and what I've noticed is a lot of it's homebrew equipment. A lot of it's hand-built Yagis. I spoke to one of the guys up there, and I wanted to interview him, but it was getting too soupy, too crappy up there. But he was one of the guys that actually built all their Yagis. He goes, "Be careful, guys. That driven element. You got to think, it had one reflector, one driven, and 30 freaking directors." And it's like they're laser beams. They're like, if you stand at the end of that antenna, you're gonna get cooked.
Yeah,
no joke. I had one of the hams I worked in the contest, who's a serious VHF guy, asked me, he's like, "Do you think that you could handle a 12-foot boom in the field?" Because you'd get, like, I forget how many elements he was telling me that I would get on 1.2 gigahertz and everything, and I'm like, maybe, but nah. It's not going to go in the car.
Look into the loop Yagi. If you look into the loop Yagis, you won't have elements sticking out. They're just little loops all the way down.
That's what I have on right now on 23 is a loop Yagi. Okay. It's 14 elements, and I forget what he said that the gain was going to be for what he was describing me, and it was the same manufacturer. It's just going to be a bigger one. But you know what Yagi
doing, Matt?
Yeah,
there's diminishing returns. So then you add you go from a couple feet to 12 feet, but you only get an extra 5 dB or something, and it's like,
let's do a little ASMR with Matt here to see how quickly he can constantly keep putting up antennas and having them hidden by his background.
Yeah, we can't see nothing, dude.
It's not working.
Yeah, sure, we believe
I got a mini loop Yagi. I'm gonna
have a stroke from the strobing.
Turn your background off for a second.
Yeah, hang on.
Turn your background off, Matt. It's not like we haven't seen your house.
Thanks. Wow, yeah.
Thank you, Prep Ham Paul. Much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Paul's awesome. So are you, Paul.
Oh, thank you.
So we got this.
Okay.
It's a titanium one.
What? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's
dude,
funky.
that's small.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's
watched too many
sexy.
Mike. I watched too many Mike's videos, so
What's that good for? What, 5 watts?
25 watts.
Oh,
Ooh,
Ooh,
dude, that's pretty good.
yeah. It's
if
all
you put any more
titanium.
than 25 watts, it's going to turn into a friggin' light bulb.
430 to 450 megahertz.
Ooh,
Okay.
Wow.
wow, that's broadband.
I'll send it to you, Mike, after I play with it. All right.
Okay.
So, all right. So I got to ask this one question because I look at all your videos, Mike. Where, like, what gaps do you have in your radio arsenal then?
I can do all bands from in the VHF UHF space. I can go from 6 meters up to 23 centimeters. So it's everything that the amateurs have. So we know 6, we know 2, 1.25. I've only got HTs there. At some point, I'll probably get a mobile. But with 220, anything that's in production now, it's all FM. You can buy some FM mobiles. Alinco still makes some. There's some, I think, TYT or a couple others that are pretty good, I've heard. But it's going to be 25 to 50 watts FM only.
Right.
You're not going to be able to do weak signal, FT8 or any of that, which could be nice during a contest. But for regular use, you're not going to find anyone on 220 FT8. I don't even know what the frequency is.
Is there? I was gonna say, is there a frequency?
I looked that up.
Yeah.
But and then I've got HTs for 23 and 33 centimeters, which is 900 megahertz and 1.2 gigahertz. I can do, because of the 705, I can do weak signal on 2 meters and 70 centimeters. So I've done FT8 on 432. I've done FT8 on 2 meters and those things. So I can do those, but a lot of it is I'm confined right now to the FM portion. So with the exception of, the major bands, 6, 2, and 70.
And I hear you're causing problems too.
Yep.
Yep. That's all you have for a response. No comment. Yep.
What is it the liberals say? You're making good trouble.
Yeah. But I can run all those bands, and I got good antennas for where I'm lacking power and on FM. So it's not bad. It's tough, and it's a use it or lose it, I say.
Right.
If we don't use this stuff, we'll lose it. And we've lost stuff before as amateurs. We've lost portions of the band, and I get really concerned about 900 megahertz and what could happen there.
Apparently that's important to Paul.
Yeah. Well, I don't do Meshtastic, but that's, a lot of Meshtastic users are in that space right now. And not a lot of other countries have it. There's not a lot of stuff that's out there off the market. They're off the shelf that you can get for it. But there's, I think it's cool. I'd rather hold on to stuff, because we've seen, like with 220, we lost a couple kilohertz or megahertz of space. We lost from 220 up to 222.
Yeah. Funny you said, because I was listening to a ham radio workbench. They had brought a guy on who was dealing with the delete emails, and he was talking about, I guess UPS has a frequency set that they took away from us that I didn't even know.
It was
that
given
we
to
had.
My understanding is it was given to UPS, but they never ended up using it. So it's kind of
It's been sitting there doing nothing.
They didn't give it back to us.
Take it back.
Surprise.
Yeah.
We've in New England here, we have a 900 system, and I have some Moto Turbo radios that I run on it, because a lot of the 900s Moto Turbos can't program into the ham bands, but I have a CPS 2.0 that can program them into the ham band. So we pulled down our old system here in Massachusetts, and we had a plethora of radios left over, and thusly I took a whole bunch to the Hamfest back a year or two ago. We must have sold 30 or 40 radios at like dirt cheap, and not dirt cheap radios either, but we sold them dirt cheap because we couldn't use them.
Right.
And I set them all up with all the repeaters, programmed them, and I said, if you need anything, let me know. I'll program it back in for you.
Mhm.
But 900 is an awesome band. We've got lots of stuff here in New England to get onto it, play with it.
It's funny you say the programming whole side of things. It's like I had a friend of ours in our club who's trying to dip his toe into 900 megahertz, and the biggest thing he learned is that it's because it's so, Motorola has such a grip on their software and their ecosystem and stuff. You can get a copy of the software, but it's literally like trying to move a mountain. Like once he finally got it, he was like, "Oh, great!" And then he started to get into it. And he was just like, "Oh, this is a lot more complex than I really wanted it to be."
Yeah, there's a DLL file that you just kind of insert and call it a day.
It's like
and
DMR
then-
2.0.
yeah, it's CPS 2.0, but there's a DLL file, and you can only program up to a certain a certain firmware version. So after that, the firmware was like, yeah, nah, I don't like these frequencies, but it's tight. It's really, really tight, and you align the radio, program it, check the alignment, and it's perfect for 900 for amateur radio.
Cool.
Nice.
I gotta say, hams, we are notorious for overthinking things, and we are notorious for overcomplicating things. And
Everything.
It's a daily struggle for me not to do those two things in my everyday life. I'll be open and honest about that, but we totally overthink things. We totally overcomplicate things that could be so much easier.
So, like, do we think that's just like a, kind of a tradition that's been passed on from when hams were like, spark gap, or is it just because we're just pig-headed?
It's a personality trait that we all just happen to have.
I don't know, dude. Like, I don't think I overcomplicate too much. Like,
It's kind of like I'm gonna hang on to this because someday I might need it.
well, then I don't fit that mold.
It's just a common trait that we all have.
Yep.
I don't know, dude. I don't keep that piece of wood that actually is a weird shape in a box in the back, waiting for that one day that I might need it for a bed that apparently has been looking for it for 20 years.
Yep. Yeah, and I'll say too, we also have a tendency to overpack or over prepare sometimes too, and whatever. And it's not a knock on preparedness at all or whatever, but when I was doing a presentation on POTA at my club's Hamfest this morning, and I filled up my little ham wagon. I put a bunch of gear, and I'm just when I was putting it back in my car, I'm just looking at all this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was everything from a folding table and a chair, some things you might need, to a power supply, a couple different radios, antennas, masts, this, that, or whatever. But I think we're all guilty too of going out on activations, and we've totally brought way more stuff than we need. And stuff. And part of it, I think it's at the end of the day, it all comes down to a fear of failure, a fear of being wrong, a fear of not being able to finish an activation or whatever it is.
But sadly, I don't know. Paul knows firsthand with me. I am and as Todd says every episode, he's just like, Eric doesn't need to be prepared. He just has to have a Paul with him all the time. And that's kind of the way I look at it. It's like, I have a Paul when I need a spare whatever, and you fill in the widget, and Paul has it, So I never have to kind of think that way, but not that I won't. I mean, but Boy Scouts, I guess for me, has always trained me that if you forgot it, well, then tough luck. You forgot it, and you're just going to have to figure out how to bang two sticks together to, make a fire because you forgot the matches, that you should have packed in your bag, whatever be the case. So,
well, you come further south, Eric, you have a me, and you go further east, and you've got a Matt and Mike.
Well, there we go. Building a network. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when the stuff hits the fan, just remember, I answered the door with a shotgun.
Excellent. I'll go to the back door then. So that'll be good.
He's only
Then
listening
you'll
on
meet the dog.
220. He's only on 220, so make sure you got your 220 radio.
I know, right? The one radio I don't have. Right, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly right. That's what you
No,
said.
but I was thinking about like having just like too much stuff on us, like in a humorous way when I'm at the Ham Fest today. So typical ham. I got my cargo shorts on and everything, and I got my Leatherman on my belt. I got a knife in my pocket with my wallet. I got my keys. I got my cell phone. I got a selfie stick. I got some wireless mics. I got my HT. I got stickers to hand out. And I can't keep my goddamn shorts up because like I've got no ass anymore. I'm like Izzo. I got a flat back. And I'm like, I
think
keep
I
having
need
to
a
tighten
bigger
the
belt.
every time I go to the bathroom. Like I can't walk like 10 yards without, I can't get a first down without having to pull my pants back up.
Mike, I'm right there with you, man. I feel, you hold a frog up and he has no butt. Yep, that's
Yep.
it. He's just back and legs.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
your hips are just gone then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no
Yep.
hips. It's just back and legs.
Yep. So mark it right.
Okay.
There's all the shorts. There's all the YouTube shorts, the IG reels, and all that other stuff right there. Stick a pin in it.
Thank God this is all being streamed to our own channel. So yeah, we're all good. Oh man, like that's well, okay. So we got to talk about this because like I find that's the same problem. Like I'm following all you guys thinking it's the right way to do this, and I'm feeling the same pain. Like my shorts are just like I feel like all of those kids that we yelled at in the early '90s, like dude, pull up your pants kind of thing. Now I feel their pain. Like it's literally that's my problem. I constantly walk around.
No, those kids have the belt tight around their legs. No, don't even give them any credit for that. No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Fine. All that being said, it's like why the Leatherman and why the knife? Like you're back up to the backup, or is that just because your Leatherman's not sharp?
The knife I was gifted at the Ham. I don't have it on me. It's up in the room right now. But a ham.
Was that your donut operator?
Yeah, no, I put it out on Twitter, so the picture's out on Twitter. A ham I'm friends with who's out in Western New York got into knives recently, and so he knows I'm into knives because of the video, and he's been buying a lot of like TSA confiscated stuff and just sharpening and reconditioning and everything. And he came up to, he's like, I got a knife for you. He gave me this little buck knife, whatever.
Mhm.
It's a Kenwood one.
Kenwood. Oh wow, that's
yeah.
cool.
And so it's got the Kenwood logo engraved in like the wooden scales, and it's a small little
Wow.
pen knife, whatever. But I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So, thank you, TSA.
That's the only time you'll ever hear that on this.
Yeah,
channel.
and he goes, it's probably it was probably a promo from like the commercial side instead, not the amateur side. I don't get it's Kenwood logo, and I was like, no, I don't think I actually have any Kenwood stuff, so I'm.
It's funny. Before the TSA, I remember as a kid, like you ever remember those like little like you go to Frontierland at Disneyland or whatever, and you get the little guns that like had the little bang snaps in them. They were no bigger than probably this size. I remember on the way. Bag and they made them stick it in a box that literally the only box they had was like 8 feet tall, and they had to pay for the 8-foot tall box because it was like a kind of a coat hanger. So they shipped this whole entire thing over across the United States, and I get it at home, and it's like this small little gun taped to the bottom of the box. Like it was literally just like the stupidest thing like they ever done. But like it's typical TSA.
All right, here we go. Let's try
go.
this. There it is.
Nice.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Ooh, wow,
Dude, that's pretty nice.
That's either a buck or a case.
I think that's a buck knife. It looks like a buck.
Yeah.
It's you look at the stamp on it, and it's Chinese,
Wow.
Chinesium, but
Still looks pretty
still, that's all good. I'll take it.
good. Yeah. Dude.
It's a nice shape, and
Never
it's a nice little gentleman's knife.
Never look a good knife down, right?
Nope.
You can never have too many knives.
Yeah, but you
it's
can't
like
have.
antennas. They're tools. It's like radios. It's like HTs and all these. Why do we have so many? It's because
But
they're
dude,
tools.
I don't carry my 4 HTs on the same belt while I'm walking around a ham fest.
Nope. Yeah,
That's because you're
I
not
only have
Mike.
one.
You're not
Yeah,
Mike.
you're not one of those guys.
Yeah, that
No,
is
you don't put them on your belt, you silly goose. You put them on the vest. Like
left, right, back, front. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Okay.
yep.
The one thing I haven't seen at most
That's cool.
Hamfests in a long time is I remember growing up like in the 90s, there used to be guys that used to have like almost a full military whip coming out the back of their backs and walk
Yeah.
around like Hamfest. I don't see that much anymore. It's like, maybe they were straight away, I don't know. Like, oh, well, I don't know who they were trying to contact with that whip, but they were definitely
I
getting
saw.
out.
Well,
I did see.
It's expensive to build a man pack.
Yeah.
There were some cool military radios that I and I see those out here because we have L3 Harris, formerly Harris RF, now L3 Harris, right out here in Rochester. So you do see. I mean, there's a lot of history with military radios out here, and you always see them at the Hamfest. Very cool stuff.
So I'm curious. Obviously, we're all in the same roughly age group. Within a couple of years of each other. How many of us actually have old radio gear? Like Hammerlin, kind of that stuff.
The HT that I use, I jokingly call it my base station, is that ICOM IC32 AT dual band HT, which is from like 89, 90, which I picked up at an auction and just bought a new battery for it because I don't know if it's like the NiCad or whatever it is, an older battery that it just needed some new life. But I can work the repeaters I need to locally with that thing, so it's always up in the kitchen. And
does it have?
I plug the
crystal
Moby
set,
Link into
or
it, and I
is
do WinLink and APRS with it,
Okay.
from my phone. Like it's
Nice.
and it's from like 1990, 89.
But it's not
And,
crystal. Like it's not crystal set. You're not like at the you're solid state, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna try satellites with it because it's supposed to be full duplex. It says it is in the manual. I haven't gotten into how to enable
with
that.
add-on module.
But I'll give it a shot. If not, like I bought this thing from an auction for like $40.
Uh-oh.
Spent maybe whatever it is for a new battery, like 20 or something, and I've been playing with it, and it's given me so much joy because of its aesthetic the last couple years that I'm just like that it's so worth it.
Yeah, I mean, as Paul can contest, I give away stuff. I don't usually hold on to anything for any length of time, no matter what it is, because I just can't. And more so, I just I come from a family, and that definitely hoard stuff. My grandmother and all that stuff. So I learned very early on, I cannot hold on to stuff for a long time. If it needs to find a home, I will find a home for it before I let it sit there,
dude. I got a stack of shit in my shed that I got to get rid of. I think I have 6 10-tech radios. I've got the Heathkit freaking manual tuner, full legal limit that I ran for 2 years before I bought my auto tuner. I got all kinds of shit. I got to get rid of stuff.
Yeah, I just literally. Paul gives me shit all the time about that stuff.
Is that a Harris, Michael?
No. Hey, zoom this in, Eric.
Oh,
this
wow.
What the heck?
is Korean War era, new old stock, mint condition, Chinese backpack. This is an actual Chi-Com military backpack radio.
Wow.
I was given it at the October Hamfest last year. This kid had it. Somebody gave it to him, and I'm like, yeah, that's going on my shelf. But this is the antenna connector here.
Wow.
This is your Morse code CW button, channel selector, and I don't know. You can see the glass ball there. That's the frequency. It goes up to 50 megahertz.
Why
And it
didn't you
runs
use it
on batteries.
You should have did the 6-meter contest with that.
Yeah, I'm right on 50. But it runs on D batteries. It has a little battery compartment off the bottom. That's the radio in its entirety.
Wow. The old mag-light D cells.
Yep. It's crazy. I blew my mind. Dude's like, and the antenna is this dragon antenna. So how you mount it is you could have it vertical, or if they were walking through the woods, you can have it vertical but hanging behind you, so you don't get snagged up on the bushes.
Wow.
It's a pretty neat setup. And yes, Paul, I have a trailer and I will travel.
I'll make you a great deal. You can clean out my whole shed for $1,000, whatever you want. Take it all.
He's gonna be there right now, dude.
Well, except for my ice fishing stuff. Can't take my ice fishing stuff.
I'm not an ice fisher, but I might take you up on that deal.
There's a lot of Tentex in there, he says. I like gremlins, man.
That and the antenna.
I'm going to just share this too for anyone who didn't know what I was talking about with the HT. So, this is an older picture, as you can tell from the background, but there's a look at what I'm talking about, and you can see the Moby Link cinched on there. I don't always have it on there like that. But,
wow.
Nice.
Dude, that reminds me of like my first HT.
Yeah.
I absolutely just love that thing. There's just something about it. It's like
Icon / Radio Shack portable.
Yeah. Yep.
So my first HT, let's do a quick screen share here just to, date me. Let me go here. Share. Let's go grab
Is this after you burn the house down or whatever?
Wow, Mike, you have great ears. Thank you. Yeah, so I'll tell the story. I might as well, since now everyone's like, burn the house down?
Story time.
All right, sure. Uncle Eric. Let's sit on the campfire here and listen to Uncle Eric. Here we go. So, where the heck is my window? Okay, so this is the first HT I got. There we go. Let's share my screen yet. Okay. So this is my FT470. This thing was freaking phenomenal. Great radio. First dual band that came out on the market. Loved it. It was my radio. But anyway, how I acquired it. Let's just say one school night when I was probably about 14, I decided that I want some French fries. And so I decided to put a pan of oil on the stove. And, me being so brilliant, I figured, hey, I'm going to go up check out my BBS to see if I got any latest updates or whatever added to the list. Yeah, see, I'm dating myself. And then on top of it, I went upstairs while that oil was heating up. Wow, do I have to be full screen for this one? Yeah, I need to.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So long story short, I forgot about the oil on the said stove. And, all of a sudden, as I was, knee deep in all of my, slamming, other people on my BBS for, basically hazing me or, whatever the issue was going on, I started to smell smoke. And I'm like, where is that coming from? And I yelled to my sister who was in the other room. I'm like, hey, you got doing something downstairs? She's like, no. And then I realized, oh, crap. I left the oil on the stove. Well, it got so freaking hot, it caught fire and caught the microwave, the cabinets, and everything else like that above it. Well, lo and behold, my sister ran upstairs onto my parents' balcony instead of going out the front door. With it's just another story altogether. I ran downstairs, grabbed the fire extinguisher, put it out. Well, I called my parents and said, hey, we had a little bit of a fire. And I didn't say I was the one who started. But ultimately, I said, hey, we put it out. Everything's all good. And, whatever. So they made me call the fire department. The fire department shows up. They confirmed that everything was fine. And so my mom, although my dad was pretty much in a different mindset, was like, you did such an amazing job. You should be rewarded for your heroism kind of thing, to saving our house from burning to the ground and so forth and so on. And all the fire department was like, yeah, you just, you instituted such a great, calmness about getting this fire put out. You didn't let it spread. That my parents, turned to me and was like, well, we know you've been saving for your HT yourself. So let's head to Ham Radio Outlet, tomorrow, and we'll buy it for you. And I'm like, okay, sure. No problem.
All you had to do was burn your house down almost. That's
oh my God.
Yep. So yeah, me
fire.
My dad as a fireman would have been like red on that 70s show. My foot in your ass.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, but yeah, I got the opposite. So yeah, that was I love that radio. Trust me, all the old guys were like, dude, how did you get that radio? And I'm like, oh, I saved my family, which is
For
really
an
not the case.
incident I caused.
Yeah. Hey, we won't talk about how it started.
Oh my god.
So
So
yeah,
the
I'll
lesson
pull the
is,
story.
kids, if you're trying to get a new radio from your parents, just get your house on fire
Fire.
and put it out.
Brought to you by
Uncle
No.
Eric.
By Eric. And there you are.
Let me show you something. Hold on a sec.
Oh,
Oh
that's
man, I gotta have a clip for that one. That's a good one.
Oh my gosh, you're taking me back.
See, we have this fire over here, and this little boy Billy, Billy cannot light a fire over here. That was awesome.
I miss In Living Color.
Dude,
like
that was the
the old
freaking best
pictures.
show, man. That was awesome.
Things that we can't enjoy now.
I know,
Right.
it's not the same. Oh man, dude.
Remember when TV used to be fun?
No.
Yeah.
TV used to be
You can watch music videos on MTV.
Yeah, the
Metal
music
28.
or more so, like your TV told you when you had to go to bed. You literally,
Yeah.
it would tell you with the stupid, the whatever. the
It's
heck
10 p.m. Do you know where your children
Oh
are?
my gosh, yeah. I mean, like, I was just I was just teasing my in-laws about that at my son's soccer game this past week. I was like, okay, Boomer, you guys needed TV commercials to remind you, like, do you know where your kids are? It's 10 o'clock.
Mhm.
I
Totally,
was a
dude.
streetlight kid.
It's like, you
Streetlights
better be
on.
out of this house.
Yeah.
If you come in this house, you will be punished severely. It's like,
Oh,
stay
yeah.
outside.
All right,
There we go.
and here's a litmus test right here. Like, who reads that in the voice and
Oh yeah, dude. I'm hearing the song play in my head right now. It's awesome. Or more so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh
Jesus.
man, dude, we survived worse.
I always joke, and I know I've said it on streams before that the Matrix was a documentary. Like, civilization really did peak in the 90s.
It did. 100%. That's awesome. Yeah, dude. I mean, even when I did that vegetarian brisket commercial, that was the first, like, you obviously noticed, that was the first thing I did. I had to go back to all of the
loved it.
commercials that I was familiar with. I was like, and I had to shorten those up too, because of like the video was 30 minutes long. I'm like, I know people enjoy these commercials, but I should really just like, time to make the donuts. Like, oh, where's the beef? Where's the beef?
Oh my
I mean,
God.
Julia
that was fun,
Childs.
dude. That was awesome. So,
Yeah.
and then, Izzo was just the icing on the cake. I appreciate you, leading him down the rabbit hole there, Mike.
But some of those, and I'll bring it back to ham radio, some of the stuff that we got in the late 80s and in the 90s is some really good, cool stuff you just don't see right now. And whether it's for some bands like 220 or whether it's getting little mobile rigs that'll do 2 meters all band, or not all band, all mode, or this, that, like, and I'm seeing some of this stuff. It's fresh in my mind because I just saw it this morning at the Ham Fest, and I'm just like, oh, they don't make anything like this anymore. And
Yaesu had the 6 meter portable,
mhm.
and it had AA batteries into it. And when I first got my ticket, that radio was old then. But I mean, it had the antenna, and that's what we liaised for contesting. We throw that thing up, get on, and go. But they don't make anything like that anymore.
No. Well,
Yep.
dude, you can literally take like that 470. I remember using it as a hammer a couple of times, and it had no problem. It literally would take the beating and be like, okay, cool, get back on the radio here, and we're off to the races, no problem. But yeah, dude, you can't find radios that stand the test of time. Even if they're IPv7 or 67 or whatever it is.
Right.
Oh man, it's insane. Man, we're fucking old.
Oh my gosh, I remember the frogs now that I see this.
Yeah, on the log. Yeah.
But
Wise.
Oh man.
All right, Eric, you start it.
Okay. Start what?
Bud.
Wise. Bud.
Wise. Mike.
Er.
There you go. You guys are terrible at timing.
All right, now.
Fucking love you, man.
I have to get back to
Still not getting my Bud Light.
Bud.
It was before Bud Light went gay.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, dude.
Wah, wah, wah. Hey, man.
Fucking love you, man.
I love you, man. Dude, you're not getting my beer.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm finding one.
Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Wayne's World, party on.
Did any of you guys have a CB when you were little? That was like my first
I did.
pretty much radio.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I lived
especially
right
in
next
New
to
York.
the main highways when I was young, and that was awesome.
Dude, I had an AM crystal radio kit that I built as a kid.
Yep.
And like, dude, that's what I would do. I would lay in my bed and I would listen to the AM radio at night.
That's all
I
you do
had
in your
no-
bed?
Well, until I hit the teenage years where I started like lighting fires and bottles and stuff.
I mean, I had what's the word I'm thinking of? I could listen to AM radio on everything in my house because I lived 1.25 miles from WGY.
Nice.
Mhm.
8100 810 WGY. The phone, the toaster, the freaking refrigerator.
You know, those crystal radios, those are like magic. You show like a young kid this day and age, like, hey, look, no batteries. And they're like, wait, what? It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
Magic Pixie does.
Like,
They
the
had
hell?
they had no idea. They had
Oh,
freaking
no.
idea.
Resonate, baby.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and you know, we kind of grew up on this too. What the heck is it? Let it go. Did I already play?
Heck yes.
I forgot about that.
I'd vote for you.
I was never a big fan of that movie. Yeah.
Next to that, it was like
But it grew on me.
Office Space later, but you know,
Yeah.
what was it? Empire Records was like the thing. Like that was my like go-to stuff. I mean, I love that show. What are you doing? Where's the money go, Lucas? Oh, it's circulating.
Yeah, we're seeing a bunch of. I seen a couple CB comments in the chat, and I was talking. I'm actually kind of seeing the reverse. I didn't have a CB. I remember my grandfather had one in the station wagon briefly when I was growing up, but I feel like I'm noticing like a resurgence with the CB, and it's almost like a reverse migration where some hams like myself and others are now curious and picking them up and get like a POTA activator I knew at the Hamfest bought one. Always see a bunch of CBs for sale, but two of my friends picked them up at Hamvention. So I at least know three people locally that have picked up a CB for the first time in the last month or
Would
so.
you say, Mike? Would you say, Mike, they are 11-meter curious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, so for those that don't know, I don't think the episode's dropped yet, right? It'll be Monday with
Right.
Walt.
Coming. Yep.
Is that when it's okay? That's the one I watched.
Yeah, you
behind
already
the
watched.
scenes. Yeah.
Behind the
Yeah, so for the people that aren't on the Live Free and Ham Patreon that don't get the inside scoop, Monday we're going to drop the latest episode where we talk with Salty Walt about CB.
Yeah.
And let
Dude,
me
that was
tell
fun.
you, it was a great conversation. And when I got in my truck the other day, I put my CB on 38 lower sideband, and I called out. You know, I didn't get anybody, but
Wow. Yeah, dude. So you warmed Salt's heart. I mean, like, Salt's heart. You Walt's heart. Sorry if I can say things right. You know, he's almost got me to the point. I haven't had time to, figure out how we can arrange getting that CB from, Paul there, because you did throw it in. So maybe I'm like I said, my CB days are like when I was 12 years old and I learned all the F words and everything else like that on my way, in a family trip down to Georgia. But that was all.
Motherfuck, smoking weed, smoking blunts,
and everything in between. Those.
Clerks.
Who smokes the blunts? We smoke the blunts.
Dude, man, you're giving me more content to pull off the web.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
$15, little man. Put that shit in my hand. If you don't, then you know we owe.
Another AI song brought to you by
Oh
N1OG. Yeah. Oh man. When I crossed over to ham radio, I had the opposites, experience very early on where I ended up not having. I had a lot of hams tell me like, "Oh, don't do CB. Like that's the bad side. That's the dark side. Don't go over
the
there."
dark side.
It is, but in essence, it's not as per se bad as it is per se today. Like I don't know. Like I know there's some bad spots, but for what's out there right now, it's probably pretty dead. But when I came kind of back around to it, these Paul was like, "Hey, dude, you're gonna get a CB in your truck." I'm like, I don't need another radio. Like, I mean, I'm good. But at this point now, I'm thinking I might need a CB. So
Go to the dark side. Well, the QRP Labs QMX has one with 11-meter band on it. So,
that might help me make the crossover. Like I need another radio, but sure. What's the lead time on that one? I'm sure it's probably backlogged like 350 people.
I'm number 239 for some stuff on there. And I ordered May 18th before Hamvention, so I kind of snuck in there before the mad rush of people. So
I'll have better luck borrowing Paul's Bearcat
before
I go to that route. But yeah, you never know. I might make the crossover. We'll see. But
I
like
around and find out, right?
Exactly right. And the Live Brandham shirt says storefront. Anyway, Mike, he actually brought up an interesting idea. He wanted to do kind of like a 24-hour 11-meter net, like where we just all get on and like constantly just like take up one channel and make it all ham kind of just conversations and
that'd be
polite
hilarious.
and whatever. And I was like, dude, that's a really good idea. So if maybe that sparks your interest in the chat, let us know, and we'll maybe form this coalition. We'll do it across the day.
I haven't done it yet. I may do it. If this doesn't work out, probably I will do it. I would almost say definitely.
Yeah. And Walt made a good point too. It's not a big spoiler, but he points out propagation, and he's like, "Yeah, now's not the time necessarily to dive headfirst into DX on 11 meters because of the bands. You're going to probably want to wait till the fall, and that's true because 10 meters generally is not as good in the summer. And I'm equating it to 10 and 12 because it's going to be similar because it's 11. It's right in the middle, right? But but you get into the fall and the winter, and all of a sudden 10 is much better than it is this time of year, and because of some scientific stuff with the axis of the whatever.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
math and stuff.
It has to do with the sun being primarily in the northern hemisphere right now, and so it's too much delayer absorption.
What about your?
What day is October 4th? We should do something on
hemorrhoids.
10. Come on. What day of the week is it? Oh, 10/4 is a freaking Saturday. That's when we need to do it.
Okay,
let's do it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. 10/4, good buddy.
10/4. 10/4. All right.
QMX Plus will be there by then, and that has 11 meters.
All right. I'm making a note here, and
we'll all be on channel 38, lower sideband, 38, on 10/4.
LSB. Okay. All right. We'll put something up and get the word spread. And
what's the frequency?
I don't know that we'll be able to do it on. Well, I mean, you can run into the evenings and stuff, but if you think about 10 meters, that's kind of like a daytime band, though, right? Like you don't really get openings on 10 after sundown, right? Or not. I don't have a whole lot of experience on it, but
we'd probably have the best luck at like 10 a.m. Central Time for everybody across the country.
Okay.
Right.
Chris just brought into the chat. I don't know if you saw the chat there. That 10/4 is Nearfest. So literally, let's just all bring CB to Nearfest. Let's just do all CB at Nearfest just to go crazy. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Go find the AA portables.
That's awesome. Yeah, exactly right. That'd be awesome. It's like, where's all this 10-meter, 11-meter gear coming from? Mm-hmm. Well, dude, we'll end up hopefully, if you're back up this way. If you're back up this way, Paul, we'll have to grab a spot and do a whole, CB setup altogether. do live CQs on 11 meters.
You gotta
we'll
remind people that this is all supposed to be fun, and
Yeah.
at the same time, you can still learn and have a good time and encourage others to get interested, one way or another. But it's fun, and
Spell it. You're good.
Oh, wait a minute. So my question is: are we going to have vertical antennas or horizontal antennas?
The answer is yes.
Yeah,
We do both.
we
go both ways.
Yes.
It's a 30 dB difference, guys. Come on.
Well, if you're skipping,
This is
everything's gonna be on tilt,
Yeah.
and so,
And who said we're running
if
legal?
you're gonna do with skywave propagation or whatever the correct term is, if you're gonna skip, you don't need to worry. And it's probably easier to do some elements for gain that way, but anything that's going to be kind of local, regional, like then that's where the vertical is going to
So
come in.
what I'm really hearing, Mike, is that you've got that weekend already blocked off for us, and you will be there and able to lead us into the new CB world of ham radio.
And all you got to do is like I did with the 6 meter activation. We had a vertical and a horizontal. You just bring an antenna switch and you just switch back and forth, and see what's pulling them in the best.
I love that event, 625, but I spent most of the day on and off trying to make contacts with folks. And I mean, I mostly had a horizontal wire. I mean, it's part of the problem, but it was very quiet. And again, I'm in a hole, here at RFY. So like trying to get anything out is really tough. So I was kind of disappointed, but I didn't think about doing it when I did go out in the truck. And that's hopefully on my to-do list in the future. But when that comes back around.
Yeah.
But
I didn't catch no openings, but
and let us not forget, to be legal, it's 4 watts AM and 12 watts sideband.
What?
12 side.
My earbud's not working. I couldn't hear you. Yeah. Well, funny because like Walt was telling me, like when we had him on, he had made a 6 meter contact all the way up to where was it? Ontario, right? I think it was.
Yeah. British Columbia.
Prince Edward Island, PA.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like 900 miles away. Yeah.
Yep.
On his vertical of all places. So
Yep.
It tells you. I mean, definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Anyway.
Yeah, opposite ends of the country there.
Yeah, true. Right.
British Columbia's on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
and I will say channel 38 right now is absolutely dead.
Well, there we go.
I bet.
I wanted 37.
Yeah, it's too late.
Because it could be the reverse of 73. Easy to remember. But it's at the 37 is pretty busy. So we'll get that going for sure. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, we got about another 50 more minutes before we wrap up tonight. Anything else we want to, touch upon? I mean, obviously, we'll leave the vegetarian brisket alone until Izzo has a place to, confirm his apology, go from there. But
what's everyone's plan for field day coming up?
Oh yeah, dude, I totally forgot about that.
I don't have any yet, so I want to hear from everyone else. Let's start with you, Eric.
I'm in the same boat, Mike. It's my wife's birthday weekend, and I am not going to be doing field day. So I too will be doing nothing for field day this year, which is very weird. But at the same time, hey, it just happened to fall that way. So
yeah, Paul's not going to be here. Eric's not going to be here. Maybe I'll drive down to Matt's and see him.
Yeah, we come down to the club field day, man. We'll be rocking and rolling. Shoot me a message.
Is it an overnight camping situation?
Oh yeah.
I like how that sounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm on the board, so we'll let you stay overnight. So.
Wow.
Well, I've got my camper, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I got to figure out how to put shelves and radio. I got to figure out how to mount shelves and radios in that camper. Eric, you've seen the inside of it. Paul's seen the inside of it. It's rather lacking on amenities. So, it's literally for camping and eating and going, and that's it.
Oh no, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, this is true. Fold down shelves.
Now, see, I was told regarding local field day that campers were not allowed. But then I got an email today that allegedly the Steves are going to have their camper and another camper, and the Steves are doing their thing.
So let me say,
I mean, we'll see if the Steves show up, but
they are allowed. You just got to clear it with the mic. That's all. So you can bring it, and I'm sure they'll have no problem with it. I know. That's what I'm at.
you know what? I honestly, I think it's a good year to skip field day. Like I've been a station captain for the last 4 years, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. I love putting new techs on the air, and field day is a great opportunity to do that. But it'll be kind of nice to take a step back and just let field day be what field day is. Let somebody else fucking run the show.
Oh yeah, it's just field days. It's a great place to show off, learn, meet new people, set up antennas, see what is happening in everybody's world. It is a good time to get together. Ham radio wise, I'm glad that there is such a thing out here that we do. Other than you have contesting and everything else and Ham Fest, but it's a group of individuals coming together for one purpose. Let's make contacts. Let's teach people.
Yeah, have fun.
I'm gonna share this. I don't know how good the resolution is gonna be because it's not high res, but it's funny.
Whatever.
So there's a
Dude,
shots fired. Shots fired.
That is so true, dude. That's awesome.
You have to have a sense of humor. Come on, it's like,
dude,
Paul, you gonna make that shirt? Make that shirt, Paul.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely a shirt for sure.
And I'll joke, like, the irony is I've never done field day, so you got somebody like me who's never done field day who's got the nerve to make a meme like that. But for me, it's someone actually said it to me, like, not quite verbatim, but basically said, "Well, you do POTA, like field day is all the time for you." I was like,
"Yep,
yeah."
But you don't have the interaction with people.
No, there's interaction.
Well, there is,
which is a good thing.
Well, but dude, you pose like an interesting question. Is it like when you say interaction with people, are you talking about the public, or are you talking about the people in your club that come to hang out?
Both.
Yep.
But okay, so I'd say with POTA, it's who you decide to invite to come hang out with you when you do POTA. That's your own fault per se. So if you want to go do a POTA on your own, then that's the way it goes. But like field day, I feels like it's sometimes forced, like to have people kind of come, and not that so like Paul and I have done field day for 4 years, 5 years now at this point, and we love hanging out. But that's because we've been like, dude, we're just gonna hang out and have fun and play radio and do cool stuff, and everyone's kind of just globbed on top of that. But
Friday night, it's always just Eric and I.
Yeah, and maybe Todd if he comes by, if he remembers or whatever. But
maybe.
But that's the cool part. It's like just being able to drink whiskey and listen to 7.200 or some guy over in Europe complaining about whatever. And from a standpoint of like the way I always look to field day is it's the educational front. I don't think it's that like let's all get together and practice emergency communication, because it's not. There are clubs that I know that are like, we're going to be number one on the list for the next 5 to 10 years, and we're going to do everything we can, and they treat it like a contest, even though ARL is stated it's not a contest. But I think it needs to be a public facing thing. Like it needs to be like clubs need to be able to get out there and reach the public and introduce them to ham radio and make it more about that than they do about like, let's put together the coolest sites and the coolest radios and the largest towers and whatever, because we always do that with POTA already, like Mike said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I when I was a new ham, well, not new ham, hell, it was 10 years into it now, but belonged to the 1900 group down on the Delmarva Peninsula. And literally, I mean, we knew everybody. We pretty much saw everybody at least once a week at breakfast. But to get some of the older club members out, because a lot of them were not homebodies per se, but almost hermits. You'd only hear them on the radio. So to get them out, to come out and, hey, come on out, hang out, let's grill up some food, let's talk on the radio, let's throw the alpha amplifier on and cook some birds. I always enjoyed it as a good time. I've done many field days, and I just like the camaraderie.
Right. And that piece is awesome, but like it's a lot harder to do. I find, like, when I started to do it, I was a part of the same, similar how you felt. Like, when I was a younger kid, I was like, that was what the club did. They all hung around campfires, they all had fun, and it was kind of that cool thing. And you had good food, and you got to play radio. And at least in the clubs that I've done in the past 5 years, it's more of like a little like pockets of people. Like, I won't get into the politics. I could probably get into some serious trouble, so I'll stop now.
Oh, come on, Eric. But, yes, there's those dedicated operators that's why they go to field day. They don't do POTA. They go to field day just to operate.
Sure.
Yep.
And then the rest of us who do POTA and shit on a regular basis, we're like, well, field day is just a fucking glorified POTA. So we're going to socialize and we're going to hang out. We're going to have good scotch. We're going to have good steak. And we're just going to enjoy each other's company because we're used to doing this shit on the regular.
Right. Yeah, true.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can have both sets of people, and those that want to operate, they can go fucking operate, and we'll just pretend they're not we're not there.
They're too loud over there.
We'll just shovel them food and drinks,
Yeah.
Hey, quiet it down, you fucker. We're trying to talk.
It's true. Yeah, and I mean, my biggest gripe is this, like, sometimes it can build this divide, in your club on, really weird people like wanting to do it for one specific purpose because they've done it their whole entire life that way, and they refuse to change, or they refuse to, modify, what the masses want. And so, it's a challenge. I think we lose a missed opportunity as a field day, public facing, major nationwide, marketing production thing that ARL does, educating the public on ham radio, because we don't do that with Winterfield Day. I mean, like, we all do Winterfield Day, like we do what we just talked about. It's like, it's fun, hang out, just play radio, have great food. And, the only difference is you're in 70-degree tents and willing to strip down to your skivvies because Paul won't turn the freaking heat down. But, whatever the deal is, it's kind of one of those things. You just, like, you don't see that in one versus the other. But I don't know. I can't get, I'll get off my little soapbox here.
I like James's idea.
Yeah, me too.
Fucking ghillie suits and paintball guns. Just try and conquer each other's field day location.
Capture the field day. I say capture the flag.
Dude, and add it as a bonus point kind of structure. That would be cool.
Oh.
Like surprise attack. Wow. Dude, we might be able to pitch that to ARL, or let's start it without ARL.
There'd be some royally pissed off old men.
Oh, dude.
Like,
they would.
I got it. Capture the Goda.
Capture the Goda.
Oh, that is glorious.
Can you take over that other club's Get on the Air tent?
Oh, dude, that would be so freaking awesome.
That's a video. That's a video.
I can see that whole playing out in my head. That's like Flash Mob on steroids. That's awesome.
Just randomly 15 people come by, distract, and yank the go to station.
Oh, man, sabotage.
Get added points for antenna and feed line.
Can you imagine, dude? Like, you can see hams getting really, mischievous and jang go to stations all the time. It's like breaking it down to the nth degree, like warfare. I'm like, oh my gosh, this has turned into something really horrible fast.
I've got one. Tag the radio. You know how a lot of guys have their stickers on the radios? We see them. Shameless plugs, et cetera, et cetera. Tag the radios. Take a picture of the radio. You get extra points.
Oh my gosh.
I think that
with different club stickers?
Yes.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Club stickers or YouTuber stickers. Click, click, go. And everybody's looking around like, where'd this sticker come from?
I know, right? Random stickers showing up.
Or what about the hammies?
They are.
Yeah.
I guess say there we go.
Yeah, where's Jody?
All of a sudden, you turn around and there's like a hammy on the Go-To station. It's like, oh no, game over.
You've been hammed.
Oh,
They got-
those hammies.
Yeah,
Trying
my
to help
daughter was
you.
playing with one at the Hamfest today. Those are great.
Sweet. Yeah, dude. I've been paying more attention. I actually hit 2 more today in a parking lot random, and I actually didn't have them tossed to the side, which is actually pretty good to see. I'm warming up to my wife's idea of sticking around and watching. It's really weird. It's like, yeah, I won't go there. Sorry.
Stalker.
That's right. I got 4 left, and I've seen a whole bunch of antennas around here, but they're all 11 meter.
Oh, so they won't
Oh,
know.
no.
And they're obvious 11 meter antennas.
But you kill the squeaker.
Yeah, my daughter found that out. She pulled it off.
You can't kill the squeaker, man. I can see somebody getting on HF this weekend, and all of a sudden,
Eric, you got to throw that link in the chat.
I'm typing as fast as I can, my friend. Don't have it ready available.
We have hammies, dude. Hammies. They rock.
They are back in and ready available to pick up. So yeah, go check them out.
Low tariff
Fucking
pork.
James.
Low tariff pork.
What did I miss, James? Oh.
Yep.
Oh man. All right. Well,
James needs to be team replay because he totally missed the beginning where we gave him all kinds of props and promoted his fucking quirky QRP. Like, listen, go to Etsy, quirky QRP. He's got so much cool shit. T-shirts, POTA mats, regular mats, like you name it, he's got it. I'm telling you, this guy is the guy. Okay.
Maybe the Grouch can put a good word in for live free and ham. Maybe just an option.
Just wait for the thumbnail for the July live stream where you're going to see some kid at the Go-To station with a sleeping bag, and then like a guy in a ghillie suit.
Yeah, we got to do that. We have to.
Or worse off, the Go-To station is going to look like a bunker with a cannon and a bunch of kids with like little helmets on trying to guard their radio.
That'd be
I love it. I love
Little
this.
Boy Scouts or something. Yeah.
Brainstorm.
Yes, let's turn field day into war games.
Would you like to play a game? Dude.
Might have to watch that movie later.
Oh,
yeah. Classic.
Awesome.
Oh, Matthew Broderick at his best.
Man, this is why I wish I had my freaking OBS working. I have all this stuff pre-programmed. It's all there. Anyway.
You're a huge embarrassing failure.
Yes, I am. All right. Well,
hey, Eric.
Hey, Walt, do you want to see my ham radio?
Yes.
No.
I love that. All right. Well, let's put a bow on this one. So let's kind of go around. We'll start off with Mike there. What's been going on with you? You want to promote your channel or anything's going on, or what's up with you in the next couple of weeks that you might want to share with folks?
Channels Mike N2MAK. If you're not watching on it now, go subscribe. I'm looking forward to the kids being done with school, and I'm looking forward to the fact that my son just got out of one sport, so there's only one sport we're worrying about now. So long story short, I'm gonna have a lot more time this summer, less work travel, and hopefully do some more POTA, get some more videos out and stuff. But I guess the one thing I'll tease, it's still got the screen protector on. I got a new bow fin.
Is that a Vero?
No, it's a K63 from Radiodity. Just sent this to me. So full disclosure, now that I'm this ham fluencer now. But it's a tri-band, so it's got 220, and it's like the Quanshanks. It's got the open firmware stuff where I can, and I've never done anything with like the Quanshanks where you hack in and you. So this is going to be an interesting process, but I'm looking forward to playing with it.
Mike, I got a service monitor we can put on that thing and to see all the spikes.
Yeah,
the spurious.
Well, I've heard good things about the Quanshanks, and and the fact that you can kind of hack into them and do a lot of things. So I will be curious to see what it can do, what it can't, and everything. And I'll be straightforward and honest. And if it's hot garbage, it is what it is. $20 is $20. Like it's
Brought
like
to you by Mike and 2K
it's
Insurance.
a cheap HT, but I'm looking forward to trying it because like I said, I've never done anything with like the firmware stuff, so that'll be interesting rabbit hole to dive into, and I'll plug it into some meters soon. But that'll be coming up on the channel sometime, and I got videos from the Hamfest today.
Yeah.
to work on, and a couple other ones. So
There we go. There we go.
Yep.
Very cool.
But anyway,
right.
That's it.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Matt, how are you? What's going on your channel, and what do you want to share with folks? Let them know what's going on.
I got 3 new videos that I'm actually editing, and should be up hopefully in a week. But I got also field day, so I'll be filming that. And if anyone's in Pennsylvania, swing on by the field day. Come and see me. whiskey3oscarindia.org shows the location. And if you know me, I can get you in there, sleep overnight. But you got to be a member if not. So,
Hey, if you're still editing your own videos, Michael's got a guy.
oh,
I know,
yeah.
right?
Right, Mike. So, yeah, send me that
Yeah, but
info.
he'll charge, Matt. He won't charge.
Oh, yeah.
Because $20 is $20.
I'll have to send him a free antenna or something.
Very cool. Well, very cool.
Nice.
Well, since we did mention Mike's tagline.
You know what those things can do?
No, not that
Suck
one.
the paint off.
Where'd it go? You silly, stupid software. There you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Very cool. All right. Well, good on that one, Matt, and looking forward to seeing more of your products come out there, my friend. Now that you're probably on backlog from the last Hamfest you went to, so
Yeah, right.
get the ramped up. Cool. All right, man. Well, how about you, Paul? What's been going on your channel, and what can people learn more about you?
Well, all right. So the channel is November 1, Oscar Grouch. I'm going to be recording a video tomorrow with Sean, the ham radio dude. I do have some old video footage to go through. I still haven't done my Near Fest video, which was in April. But things are coming. I've been busy skydiving, as you can see behind me.
Yep.
No, listen, this hobby is expensive and the things that I do are expensive. So I just want to thank each and every single person that is tuned in to us and is tuned into my channel. We appreciate all the support. It is very, very, very appreciated. We're just going to keep doing what I'm doing over here on my end. And I need to live stream more often. I apologize for that. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more regular with live streams. So I don't know, click the bell, right? So that way you know. And then thanks for being here.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, get on that Near Fest video, man. By the time you get one, 10-4 will be around, and we'll have to record another one. You might have to do back to back.
10-4, good buddy.
Exactly. All right, Mike. Tortoise.
Before we see it.
Yeah, totally. Tortoise Overland. How you? What's going on? Talk about channel. What's going up?
Channel is Tortoise Overland. I'm actually going to have a video up this week. I'm planning on it and hoping on it for W2SZ and their complete setup. Get that done and get that up and start making some more videos. I've got a feature-length video of me putting some 300 amp hour batteries into my camper so I can have all the power. Some install videos on the. Did you just kick me off?
No, you're good.
Yeah, I thought he ended it.
I'm done. Got
7-3.
And shut the fuck up, Michael.
You know what?
It's okay. His penis is okay. Oh my God. It's okay. His penis is okay.
God place, and maybe shoot and get an install vehicle and tour of the Blue Tortoise.
Cool.
And that's it.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm N1JUR, and I'm going to throw a little challenge out, a call out to folks, because I figured this guys could help, our audience could help. We got a blind ham in our club, and I'm trying to find more resources. Obviously, I went to blindhams.com and whatnot, but we're trying to get them in HT. So if there's a bunch of great stuff out there that you can recommend, send it my way. Send an email over to n1jur.nh@gmail.com, or check me out on QRZ. If you got resources or great radios that you've already tested that work really well for that type of stuff, let me know, because we want to get him more on the radio, because he's super psyched about getting his ticket, and we want to get him talking and on the air. So he's been throwing out like the D74 as a radio, and I'm sure his budget's not a D74 budget, because he's 24, so I know I was 24 and I couldn't afford a D74. So yeah, if you got some of those, but yeah, I got a couple of videos coming down the queue. I've been teasing the spool tenor for a while. My apologies, guys. I've been dragging my butt because I've been trying to tweak that a little bit, because I did it during the G4 storms and stuff like that. So it was really a lot of video to edit to test out the antenna. So that'll be coming soon. And then I got the video that I just did with Chris and Parker and Jimmy. So that'll be fun to put up there with Marconi. And then I got a small little stuff that I've been smattering around with other things. I'm trying to do a little bit more live streaming. So Paul, if you want to get together, maybe we can do something, make something happen there. I know you and I've been talking on the sideband there, but we can do something there. But yeah, outside of that, it's summer months, so we'll see. If I can actually have a little bit of a break and enjoy playing a little bit more radio. Hopefully the bands get a little bit better and get out there and do a little more poters. I still get that stupid challenge that I have to get the kilo with Todd. Eventually, now that he's done with the baseball, hopefully we'll actually be able to get our kilo. We're literally like 982. I mean, it's literally come on, dude, shit or get off the pot, as they say. When are we gonna get our kilo? So he's not here to defend himself, but I'm going to give him crap anyway.
God is procrastinator in chief.
Yes, exactly. on many levels, but we all, what is this, a little love fest going on over there, Mike?
That's his date night too, man.
Well, I don't know how to end this one right, but as always, guys, great to hang out with you as always. And feel free to check everybody out here on the channels. The Northeast Ham Radio is not a specific channel specifically. So for those that tuning in, it's just all about guys in the Northeast doing ham radio, cool stuff. And we love having, incorporating everybody else in. So if you want to come join and hang out with us, let us know, reach out to us. Hit us up on any one of our channels, and we'll talk some more. So with that, guys, as always, 7-3.
7-3, y'all. Later.
77.